Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. So, Jason Verrett is officially out for the season after a shoulder injury that he suffered on Thursday. So this news broke last night, and when I initially seen it, I just simply really couldn't believe it. Obviously, Jason Verrett for the majority of this season was on the Houston Texans practice squad with DeMeco Ryans. Obviously, the 49ers had some injuries to their secondary, over the course of probably 3 weeks to a month. They were pretty thin at corner, so, they ended up signing Jason Verrett off the Texans practice squad. Obviously, Jason Verrett then returned to the 49ers where, he played for some time. He's familiar with this team, the culture, the locker room, and the Niners thought, with him being fully healthy at the time, it was a perfect signing for the Niners to add depth, at a position in need like Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett, veteran guy, great player when he's healthy. He's just suffered so many injuries over his career. I believe he's had 8 season-ending injuries now. He's torn his Achilles. He's torn, his ACL. He's had ligament tears. The whole 9 yards. Any major NFL football, injury that's pretty common in the NFL, Jason Verrett has suffered. And obviously, he was attempting to come back after, dealing with injuries last year. He had a shot at, on the Texans practice squad, and then the 49ers signed him because they were thin they were thin in the secondary. He comes to San Francisco. He actually started in the Baltimore game. He played a lot during the Baltimore game, with Ambry Thomas being hurt, and the 49ers had Diamador Lenore that was banged up. Charvarius Ward was banged up. But Jason Verrett ended up starting in the Baltimore game, played a lot during the Baltimore game. And then obviously, the Niners were able to get back Ambry Thomas. And so far the Niners secondary has, it's not fully healthy, of course, but it's doing better than it once was at a certain point in the season. So, but yeah, what they're saying is for Jason Verrett, though, I guess he had an awkward fall on his shoulder on Thursday, and he got an MRI. I guess he was pretty worried, and he didn't want to go get the MRI, but the pain kind of continued. It kind of got more severe as time passed, and yeah, he tore his rotator cuff in his shoulder, and it was during a practice leading up to this Rams game. Jason Verrett, without a doubt, was going to be playing a lot during this Rams game. Obviously the Niners, they don't have Ambry Thomas for this game, so they're pretty banged up in the secondary. And this was going to be a perfect game for Jason Verrett to come in and play a lot. And of course, during a practice leading up to this game, something like this has to happen. So, even Kyle Shanahan indicated that, Verrett was due to play a significant, snap number in the season finale. He's been on the practice squad. His eventual placement on injured reserve is not, it's not going to open up a roster spot. So it just sucks, man. It sucks for Verrett. It sucks for the Niners. It sucks for, the secondary. Now, Kyle Shanahan couldn't stress enough that he really wanted Jason Verrett to, get the season-ending surgery and then return to the 49ers and be around the players and the team. He said that Verrett, is an inspiration to many on the 49ers team. He's good with the younger guys as well. Like, Jason Verrett's been in the league since 2014. He's a veteran guy. He's a Pro Bowl cornerback. He's just dealt with he's probably had the worst luck that any NFL player has had when it comes to injuries. So just sucks for Verrett, sucks for the team. So unfortunately, of course, the Niners are now down another cornerback. along with Ambry Thomas, of course. So secondary pretty banged up right now, but as long as, which Ambry Thomas is expected to return, in the divisional round playoff. We'll have Charvarius Ward, who's been one of the better corners in the entire NFL this year. He's having an all-pro season. Diamador Lenore's having a great season, so we'll be fine going into this divisional round playoff game. But as far as Jason Verrett, again, I genuinely just don't think there's a single NFL player out there that has dealt with this amount of injuries, over the course of 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years. So obviously prayers up to Jason Verrett, hoping for a speedy recovery. When the Niners signed him, there was always that concern with him potentially being hurt or getting hurt. And I think it speaks volumes about what type of player Jason Verrett is, that the 49ers still took a chance on him and still signed him. Because again, man, when Verrett is playing and he's healthy, he's a very, very great, solid corner, and he can be for any team, not just the Niners. He was a solid corner for the Niners for some time while he was healthy, but he can be a great veteran corner for really any NFL team out there. It's just, again, he's 32 years old now. He'll be 33 next year. He's, without a doubt, has the most season-ending injuries probably any NFL player has. So again, it just sucks for Verrett. Sucks that he can't, wasn't really ever able to stay healthy, because really, like I said, when he's healthy, he's a fantastic player. But and really, this was the first year that Jason Verrett was pretty much fully healthy and looking good since 2021. And then obviously in 2021, week 1, 49ers are playing the Lions, and he, suffers a season-ending injury in that game. So it just sucks, man. It really does. It sucks for Verrett. Kyle mentioned, like I said, he mentioned how Verrett was scared to get an MRI, and he was worried. He's mad that he had to get the MRI, because I think he knew deep down, that it was going to be season ending. But yeah, Verrett's return was valuable. It was veteran depth for the Niners secondary. It's gut wrenching, but at the end of the day, man, Verrett's a guy that came in here to provide depth and to provide a veteran presence, and he helps this 49ers team just as much as he does off the field, or he helps this Niners team just as much as on the field as off the field. He helps in both ways. So, even, Kyle elaborated on the injury yesterday. He said, he was going to play a lot. Yesterday he landed on his shoulder. And he has to get rotator cuff surgery. We all know when he tore his ACL in Detroit week 1 on that turf. Took about a year and a half to get back from it. Then he got his Achilles just on air last year on the field. He was practicing his butt off all week. We were going to play him a lot in this game. He has been awesome here this last month. He jumped for a ball, came down on his shoulder in an awkward position. It happens to a lot of guys, so it's crushing for him. But also it was just a shoulder injury. It wasn't, a knee or a leg, but you do have to get surgery for that stuff. And then obviously Kyle Shanahan mentioned that he found out this morning that it was going to be season ending for Jason Verrett. Well, he actually found out yesterday morning, but it says in the article he found out this morning, since this article was put up yesterday. But with that being said, though, expect to see plenty of Samuel Womack and Darrell Luter Jr. this Sunday. Obviously, Ambry Thomas getting that shoulder or that hand surgery for his broken hand, so he's not going to be playing. So definitely expect Womack and Darrell Luter Jr. to play a lot this Sunday. That was another reason too why the Niners brought him in when they did, is because Samuel Womack and Darrell Luter Jr. were still battling through injuries. They weren't cleared to return yet. So obviously, with Sam Womack and Darrell Luter Jr. being able to return, it it helps this Niners team even with this Verrett injury. So, it is what it is. Thank God Womack and Darrell Luter are back, though, because we would really be thin at corner if not. So, it's always next man up, though, but you got to feel for a guy like Verrett. He's battled through so many injuries. So prayers up to him and hoping for a speedy recovery. But, let me know what you guys think of this season-ending injury for Jason Verrett. I'm sure you guys probably have, the same opinion I do in terms of it being gut-wrenching. And, again, I mean, Verrett's a beloved locker room figure. The team loves him. It sucks. But at the end of the day, it's next man up. We have enough depth. This isn't going to hurt us as bad as it would if Verrett was an actual starter like he was in recent years for this Niners team. But, we'll see what happens with our cornerback depth and our secondary depth moving on into the postseason. But, with that being said, as always, go Niners. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.